Klimper, klimper, klimper. Bat your lashes. That looks good. Good morning and welcome back to our sales inspiration time. It is, as you see in the background, a little bit different, and yes, the sound probably is still a little bit off, working on that, but we just moved. I am now in our new headquarters, still in Cologne, just literally next door, but so we moved under a full workload in less than, I think, from Monday 12:30 till Wednesday 8 p.m. So let's give us some time that we figure out the nicks and necks. And when we start off our inspiration today, why not tell me what you want to see in the background? Should I go with like something little, or should I get another bookshelf behind me because you're so used to my books? Doesn't matter. But here we are, inspiration. Sorry for the delay, but we're still figuring out a little bit the schedule of our English-speaking inspiration. And so yesterday I really didn't want to bother you with me telling you about inspiration, because like we had, I think, 34 degrees in Cologne, and I was building up the terrace, so we have an outdoor office too, and I'm redhead, and my face was a tomato. So I was like, no, we have to reschedule because you will think I'm gonna die or so, and your concern wouldn't be very. So doesn't matter. Here we are, rambling over. So hopefully some people of you are live joining us today, checking in. If you're live, as always, send a like, a share. You look good. You look good too. Here we are. So we are now on second part of it's a more part series about dirty sales tricks. Remember last week, or if you want to look at the YouTube video, you can just like go moments over there. You figure out that sales, the perception of sales is always like that dirty thing, and it's always kind of not like a thing you enjoy, and that there are in the market what you would call dirty sales tricks. And one of the dirty sales tricks, and I already told you that there are different kind of ways to build them up. And one is the kind of a, it's not the most meanest from a like, if you would rank psychological meanness from 1 to 10, it's probably not the meanest. But if you would rank it from 1 to 10 on financial impact and money not well spent, spend your money on yourself and show that you can prove either to the surrounding world or to yourself that you can spend money on yourself is on the money meanness, surely nearly a 9 to a 10. So let's think about scales. Psychologically 1 to 10, you know, it's deep shit manipulation if it's a 10, and money spending factor 1 to 10. So that one would be on the meanness factor on the psychological side, probably a 4, 5 to 6, depending on how it's built up. But on the meanness factor of money not well spent, it's definitively short before a 10, so 9 to 10. So what it's all about, and why is that even a sales trick if someone tells you or shows you or encourages you to that you spend money on yourself to show, to prove that you can do that? So the basic outline is on a baseline that money is a representation of status. That's the one part. The other representation of money to prove to yourself that you can spend yourself is a baseline on the fake it till you make it world. While fake it till you make it is more about fake it till you become it, and the fakeness should be around probably your own imposter syndrome, not really a faking, but you know, stuff get out of hand. And the good intention once got into a really bad intention on the second date. So that's kind of like where that idea comes from. And also, if you always have to have in mind that sales, if it's not done with kind of the human-centered and the client-centered in mind, it always comes from like, I have all the information, and you're kind of like my victim I want to manipulate. And I want to have your money, because if I can get you to spend money on yourself to prove that you're either well off, that you have self-worth, there is where the psychological meanness of that dirty sales trick jumps from a 4 to 5 into a nearly 10. Show the proof that you have like status, show the proof that you're part of a peer group and all that stuff. Then that's kind of the basic idea behind showing up with proving that you can invest in yourself. And the thing is, as you remember, hopefully, because you watched our last week's video, we'll repeat it now, is at the baseline, there is always truth in every good sales trick. Consider you have a company, you're building up a company, or you really want to excel in your career or your next step. Of course, you have to put money to the usage. You have to invest in your company and a certain degree in yourself for like your own benefit. But it's one thing, especially in a company world where you really talk return on investments, while it's on a more private side, probably there isn't a return on investment. So of course the amount of money you spend with or without return on investment should be different. So there's a difference between costs and if you invest money. So cost is you spend money and you don't really have a benefit for it, or not an obvious benefit. While on the other side, if you invest, there is a benefit. Normally, investment means always there's a financial benefit. So you put money, think about you invest into kind of know. And in the office, what do you think the behind the idea is? It's not shouldn't not only be cost, it should also improve the business. So with our new office, we can have workshops even in Corona times now. We can onboard more employees. We can grow. So the decision to move into a new HQ is based on our growth level, and I'm thinking it's a good investment to put that money to the use and grow our company. So, and on the other hand, there is kind of like I'm a skincare nerd, not totally nerdy, but like yes, okay, let's be honest, I'm nerdy at everything I do. So yes, I'm a skincare nerd, enthusiastic. And skincare and it's like self-care, and I really love it. But let's be honest, would I spend the same amount on skincare, self-care, and not the same amount how I'll put money in here for all the new furniture and the stuff like? No, because like as much as I love my skincare, it's not the same investment kind of level. But what companies and people and sales try to tell you is to level that out. That's why you probably get an email with invest in yourself instead of that's how much the program costs. As soon as your brain kind of reads the word investment, it's a little bit, oh, there's a benefit, I'm getting something back. So it's another state of decision making. While cost is like the money is kind of gone. Of course, in skincare and self-care is a great benefit, and we're always enhancing that it's necessary. But of course, it's not the same as working capital and return on investment. So that's first of all to be understand. The second part is especially think about always a dirty sales trick has to have a specific kind of target group. Think about a very well-off financial group. So they earn a hell of money, and do you think they would kind of be triggered on that you have to invest in yourself? No, they wouldn't. Why? Because it's not the target group. If you have a certain degree of financial stability and financial success, you think about money kind of a little bit of a different way. If you want to climb the ladder, which is totally fine, and everyone should be encouraged to climb every kind of ladder up, there is kind of, if someone tells you if you invest in that, you can climb the social ladder, the whatever ladder, doesn't matter. That's kind of the target group. So, and that's kind of where the meme is coming us from. If it's someone well off and they want to show off like this, like with a bigger car or so, let's be honest, their point. Normally they have the money, but that's not the baseline. If you target a little bit more social or insecure target group, or especially an insecure target group, and here we are back to also many kind of a female target group. Women are much more insecure and, to be honest, not financially that stable than the whole male side. So of course females are in that kind of room. And on the other hand, we were trained from an early age on that like outside perception, looks and everything else should be, it's much more interesting than like working on your brains. And now think about what I said about return investment in your company versus investment in your skincare or makeup. I'm a makeup geek. I have so much shit of makeup. They won't believe it. But it's kind of not, of course, not the same amount of money I just spend on conference tables. So one conference table is, of course, it doesn't make totally sense, much more expensive than whole of my makeup collection. Otherwise, it would be weird. But if you grew up in a certain kind of perception that looks a much more necessary, and especially in a group where the outside perception of like judgment on how well of you are, how good you are, whatever from an outside perfection view is, then you are in that position that you're a target group that you can prove to spend money on yourself. And why that dirty sales trick got even dirty over the years, and especially in the Germany over the last month. In the English-speaking world, it's a little bit older. It's kind of the idea that you kind of prove to yourself and to your clients that you can shop that. And it's not like in a male-dominated field where you would normally think about cars and stuff like that, so the technical stuff. Now it's more in that luxury, consumey, good theme, handbags, shoes, makeup, and stuff like that to prove that. And it's even encouraged to do that in that kind of room, fake it till you make it. So buy the expensive handbag, buy my program, and you will get that handbag back. Yeah, sounds weird if I tell you that, but you will not believe how many people and how many rounds of stuff gonna happen that. Because in that, if you have a deep insecurity, and especially probably you always wanted some kind of style or bag, some kind of stuff from the outside perfectionated Instagram world, then of course you're much more approachable to that. So women are a big target group for that dirty sales trick, but also, and now it's getting even deeper in that kind of like, think about especially minorities. So minority doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why the minority. So all of the minority room in all of international are earning less money. Look at the minority page gaps. Look at Black Woman Equal Pay Day. It's in August. White woman, March or April, depending on the country you live in. And so, and Latina's even deeper in the US, and I think it's October, November or so. I have to look it up because we don't have, last year it was November. So it's even worse and worse and worse. So, and it doesn't only matter if you're female, but also minority always, there is a big perception it's earning less, and then you want to climb the social ladder and the social financial ladder to get more financial stability. And that's why that dirty sales trick is so mean on the money side, because of course an investment in yourself and a good education is necessary, but if you look at the whole picture, it's not really always benefiting. Think about, you have two chances on investing in yourself. You can go with any kind of like personal development, or you can go the math data science part. While personal development is, and I love it, I throw a hell of money on that, but it's not with the idea in mind of that it's benefiting on an investment level. It's more kind of like that thing, it's necessary for my survival versus it's paying me money in the long run. But over the last, I think 20, 25 years with all the self-help, personal development and all that mindset stuff, it was played on the perception that that helps you to earn more money. You remember mindset matters most? No, it doesn't. And especially kind of that room plays especially hard on the dirty sales trick side. So always remember how these stuffs works together, and think about if someone makes you uncomfortable and wants to pressure you into a position that your thinking process is, if I spend that money, I prove to myself that I'm worthy of it and that I'm capable of a greater thing. While that probably should be true, but your worth is always incredibly high, it's a bad sales tactic. Because what's the mindset of that person telling you and using that sales tactic? That without the stuff, you're not worthy? That if you don't prove yourself and kind of them that you're worthy, you're not worthy. You see, that's where that daily sales tricks gets from a 4 to 5 the psychology stuff to a deep 10 or even higher. So be very aware about that, how people pressure you into a kind of like social climbing, financial fakeness. If that's the reason you should buy from them, that you kind of like have it before you can pay for it, it's never a good decision. It's an investment is an investment, but people should tell you where the return on investment is, how the benefits are really benefiting you. And of course, you always have to check in with your financial reality. And while the financial reality of one person may be, oh, I buy a new car for 100,000 bucks, no matter, another financial reality will be that spending an extra 100 bucks will be stressful for their life. So don't buy into that financial reality game that it's all the same. It's not. Investments are necessary for business growth, for personal growth, but there always should be that check-in. Do I really need that? Is that helping me to excel in my next step? That is, and a good salesperson will help to understand you the benefit long, between, and short term, and will show you where that is. And yes, of course, if you buy into stuff, sometimes the return on investment can take quite a long time. Think about if you take a hell of money to buy another company. So if you want to grow a company by buying another company, 4 to 5 years till your investment is back on track. If nothing, normally you calculate even up to 7 years. While on the other hand, if you do invest into like a sales strategy or digitalization, return on investment should be faster, depending on what be done, between 3 months to like 18 months probably. But so it's depending also when and where the return on investment comes from on a timetable. We always have in mind, do I now invest or do I consume? And am I pressured with playing it like an investment to consume stuff which, except of consumption, doesn't help, because afterwards it's gone. So don't fall flat to that, and especially if you're on the other side, don't use it. It's not kind of a thing you should do on that level, push people into that. It's little things you probably use investment and it isn't an investment, then just state the price. But don't pressure people into that, because there's always every dirty sales trick, and you have to remember that. Maybe working in the short term, but not on the long run. And then you have a very unhappy client, and then you're in the position you hopefully have made a hell of money in a short-term amount to get that out of the market. So please be aware of these little tricks. People try to play you, but it's also in your obligation to understand what's going on there. So I wish you all kind of a happy weekend. So we're at the end of the week in Cologne, and I think all over Germany. We're in the midst of a really hot summer day, so don't work too hard today. Enjoy the outdoor life. Keep well and safe, and I hope to see you soon, at least next week, for another round of dirty sales tricks. And till then, see you. Bye bye.